Back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Grade A Power Plays here on the Grade A Fantasy channel. I'm your boy Grade A Fantasy with another day of picks. I thought I was going to really take off today and focus on this as a slate, but since the FanDuel Fantasy side want to be a bunch of illegitimate contest-making blue site jackasses, even though I still play on the site, they're doing hockey dirty. I said what I said, but we're here on the sportsbook side. Let's recap last night. Thomas Harley, 4 shots on goal, over 2.5. Had the possibility to get the 2.5, missed a couple, got a shot. We thought he had an earlier shot that went in, but as saw on replay, and I saw the replay, yes, it was tipped by Wyatt in front because it definitely did change direction. So Thomas Hardy didn't even get the beginning of the ladder, but we did get Jordan Kyrou, Dylan Holloway. The Shen point, that should have went through. A lot of people are screaming that we got robbed. It is what it is. We move on. The Rangers did not effing show up, but I did get Cooley by himself, plus 126 for the way it was. And that was a great playoff intense game until Montreal blew that shit the hell up and came back with 5 goals in the third. Kyle Palmieri, I kind of got robbed on that one too. He was part of that comeback and he just fell short. Dylan Cousins and Batherson, on the other hand, continue to keep on rolling. Plus 128 by himself. Cousins combined plus 204. And that's it. Now, let's go on today. As you can see on the cover sheet, cover page, we're going to really talk about one game. I will mention the second game, though, at 9:30. And that's another good thing, too. A possible Stanley Cup matchup starting at 7 o'clock. We don't have to wait for it till the end. But what I will show is the great odds in this from 2 bad teams. Seattle bad, Minnesota just bad because they're so hurt. But with that being said, we have the point. I mean, and yes, the power play opportunity is great. I mean, 205 for Matt Bode, then it drops all the way down to 146 for Zuccarello, Rossi, but it's the Seattle stack. Like, everything in Seattle is plus money. Like, this is just, if you research the game right, there's a lot of opportunity here. As I see this really quick, there still is no official morning skate for Seattle or lines or anything like that as of yet. But if you're looking for, and like I said, they're one of those annoying teams that spread their power play correlation over the series of 3 lines, maybe even 4 lines. If you're looking for anything that's possible, then obviously the main combo you're looking for is Chandler Stevenson and Jordan Eberle. And even though Stevenson has been dishing off a lot of assists lately, Stevenson just for a point is 126 with his line mate and also on that top power play, Jordan Eberle, 233 for a point for those guys. So there's opportunity there. If you're looking for anything else, that second line does correlate well. So if you're looking for anything there, you're looking for Chandler Stevenson, and then you're looking for Eberle, and then you're looking for Eli Tolvanen. All 3 of them is basically almost plus 555. That's power play odds right there. In other cases, on the Seattle side, I think the way they move things around, like, there's really no correlation here. I don't think so. I don't see Burakovsky here, so I don't see anything for Jared McCann. But on the top line, we do have Matty Beniers and Jaden Schwartz, or you could go Matty Beniers and Capo Caco, and that's plus 253. Matty Beniers being the center. And just Schwartz alone, that's 264. And then just so I could get to the main thing or whatever. Like I said, I'm just showing you guys the options of what you can do for the Seattle game, for the Seattle and Minnesota game. These power play odds, the smallest is 260. And when you look at these, like I said, it's Jared McCann, Schwartz, Beniers. Sucks that they don't have the power play correlation, but some of the point odds are pretty solid. Like, some of the point odds that you're going to get is adding up to, as you can see up there, Matt Bode and Matt Zuccarello status. So you could do what you will there, but we are going to focus on my man on the cover sheet, Valeri Nichushkin. Now, let's take a quick let's take a quick trip down memory lane. These two teams did play a couple of weeks ago, but if you look at the overall history, one, it was 4-7. Two, yes, Toronto has faced the new iteration of the Avalanche because Nature's was there with Brock Nelson. So now, when you look over, you can pretty much say, if you look back at some of the games in the past, yes, Nature's is pretty much ranting it in that case. Nichushkin, there was times that he missed some games, whatever. You know, he had off the ice issues. There was injuries. The Maple Leafs have pretty much been the same team except for moving some support cast people around and added some people over the past couple of years. So what I did was look at the past 7 games. And when I look at the past 7 games since 2021, only one game scored less than 7 goals. And in that game, it was 2-1. But even in those games, I'm still getting a lot of shot generation. And that's why he's on my cover sheet. I'm taking Valeri Nichushkin for over 2.5. I took it this morning. It was plus 122. I'm also taking a 3 parlay here on shots on goals. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So basically 3 for Nichushkin, Nylander, and Natchez, plus 607. Even in the games even in that one game in the last 7 that went 2-1, every other game has scored 7 or more goals. So there's going to be shot generation. I'll get to the point combinations in a second. So 2 weeks ago with these guys right here in Colorado, Nylander 2 shots, 2 misses. Natchez had 6-0. Valeri 5-3 misses. So I like these guys right here. Yes, we can go McKinnon. Yes, we can go. Yes, we could go McKinnon. Yes, we can go. Oops, wrong game. We could go McKinnon. We could go Austin Matthews. Yes, we can. But these guys don't take much to get into the plus money. As we can see here, I wonder what this is now. Nichushkin is okay. So only moved like 3. It didn't even move that much. I got Nichushkin for plus 122. It's now up to plus 125. Now the one that opened my eyes, and I should have took it last night. This is 128. This was in the 1-teens last night when this market opened. So I didn't get it where I wanted it to go. And I got it at 135, so it went back to minus 120. But I doubt it's going to go back to where I wanted it. And then, of course, Natchez, minus 106. Okay, so Natchez has stayed the same. But I was surprised that some of these shots on goal props being so low. So, as we can see here, there goes Austin Matthews. For 3, he's minus 108. McKinnon, same thing. To get to 4, he's minus 130. So, in these games here, in the past 7, there's always total shot generation. Nichushkin's always going for 4 and 5. You got Nylander having his games where he's 4 and 5, and especially being at home, he's going to play the second line, which is not a great defensive line. So I like Nylander. I love Nylander to get that. In the 2-1 game, a couple of years ago, Nichushkin had 4, Rantanen had 5, Nylander had 3. So at least they can get over the 3. But I really do like the 3 parlay, and I do like the 4-shot parlay. I think there's a lot of generation opportunities here. Plus, if you want to dig in a little deeper, Toronto is 10th in shots against, allowing 1,950 up to date. So that's what I have here. I have a nice little shot ladder. I will be taking maybe a couple of these singularly, just in case 1 or 2 don't make it, maybe 1 does. The odds are pretty good on all these people. Let's take a look at what their odds are on the 4-shot panel right here. 4 shots on goal. Everybody's pretty much plus money except for Nathan McKinnon, Matthews. Makar plus 178. Makar's another one that's sneakily good and that can get some shots off as well. He's normally good for 3 some of the time and things like that. But Nylander, like I said, he's plus 198. Natchez plus 250. Those are definitely odds worth taking by themselves. They're not giving you much for 4 shots on goal. They're stopping at Mitch Marner 490. Obviously, with the points and everything, yeah, unless you're taking some of the lower guys or unless you're setting somebody else for an assistant point, looking in this section is pretty much nothing unless you do go Tavares Nylander, who's going to face off against that Colorado second line, who's going to get power play opportunity. They're plus 127 at the moment. But as we keep going down here, now, like I said, last 7 games, only one went 3 goals. Everything else has gone 7 goals and higher. So, it's a high-paced game no matter who the goalie is. So let's take a look at some of these 2-point props. At least this is not one of those games where they even have McKinnon minus money. McKinnon, Natures, if you're going to go with that, plus with the power play opportunity. Maple Leafs power play, penalty kill, not good at all. You got Nathan McKinnon, Natures. If you do that, they're plus 118, 255, them together, 342. If you somehow take Austin Matthews and maybe Marner together, you get 375. If you're going possibly, and I think the morning skate for these guys should be over with. Or Toronto was off and they had skate yesterday. So power play correlation, Marner, Nyes, all those guys are together. If you get Matthews and Nyes for points, for 2 points together, plus 470, you're looking at plus 684. So if you're looking for the ruckus that's normally happened between these teams over the years, and it continued today, and it continued about 2 weeks ago, then yeah, the 2-point market is looking good. Maybe a trusted 2-point market, power play correlation, and playing online too together with the better matchup. Tavares, Nylander plus 843. I love that combination right there because they're gonna get a great matchup. And then of course, when you look down on the Colorado side, you can also do some combinations there. Hasn't really done much, Brock Nelson, but if you think he can get a point in, Brock Nelson, I think, has a good market for a point since he hasn't really done much since he's gotten there. So he's probably one of the few that's good. He's basically even money. So him and Nichushkin are on the same line, and that's power play 1 combination. If you're looking for the 1 point there, that's nice odds for 1 point each, plus 175. If we keep on looking on the power plays, on the other hand, power plays, not the best, but obviously my favorite odds for people who are on the power play, and obviously they plainly stack power play 1. You're looking at, my favorite picks would be Matthew Nyes plus 350, Nichushkin 300, and Natures plus 210. I will be getting a sprinkle on this, especially on the Colorado side, because once again, Toronto suspect penalty kill. To wrap it all around, though, I still need to make a decision on what I'm going to do. But, yeah, there's some interesting 2-point combinations to be taken. But if you're asking me what's my favorite, it's not because of the odds. I like the Nylander. I love the Nylander-Tavares matchup, and I definitely think it's something that could be exposed because they're going to get the... And like I said, it's going to be a good power play opportunity, too. There's a lot that can go right here with these 2-point combinations. I will be taking a risk on some of them. But other than that, I definitely like the fact that there's going to be a lot of generation. Even, like I said, even in that one low-scoring game, there's shot generation. These are 2 good offenses. These 2 teams are not known for lockdown defense. Maple Leafs best line because you got Austin Matthews who can play 2 ways. Marner, solid defender. And you got Nyes who plays well with them. McKinnon and these guys, yes, they can play some defense, but guess what? They skate so fast up and down with their pace. They're just too high event. And then it's mostly covered up with their solid defensemen. And then once you get past the McKinnon line, pretty much there's advantage. Like I said, that Tavares line is going to get the Brock Nelson and Nichushkin line. And I think that's definitely an advantage for Toronto too. Penalty-wise, Avalanche doesn't give up that many penalties, and the Avalanche do have a decent penalty kill. They're just under 80 as usual. Like I said, Toronto always somewhere in the midfield, in the lower teens. And like I said, Colorado could definitely attack them on the penalty kill. But 2-point combinations, there's 1-point combination to be had. It's just something that you have to really look at. Like I said, this is a better put together second line for Colorado. So Colorado could get some opportunities. Like I said, Brock Nelson, you got Drouin, who's pretty much even money. Lehkonen, who's on the left wing of McKinnon, he can get some things going. Lekkonen's plus 100. I wonder what happens when you put him with Matthew. Even with McKinnon, you can still get plus 115 with the minus 430. if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to just go a little something simpler, you get Nates. That can get to plus 163. There are ways to get around. I mean, you're not going to do it with me. Well, you could do it with the top players involved. Because if you go, Matthews and then you go Matthew Nyes or whatever, yes, plus 115. So there's ways around just going for the 1 point. So for some people, you don't really have to go for the assist. You're still getting plus money. But if you're expecting to blow up, then yeah, I say it's definitely worth the sniff for the 2 points. And if I'm going to go 2 points, I'm literally just going to go. If I'm going 2 points, I'm going McKinnon and Nichushkin. I'll go McKinnon and Nichushkin because, they're going to get the top line, top power play. They can get that on the power play as well. If they can get at least a couple chances on the power play, they can correlate on the power play to get that. And then, like I said, for 2 points, I love Nylander. I love Nylander and Tavares. It's just something that it's just a combination that I love, and I love their matchup. And then, like I said, I will also take Nichushkin. I'll probably do something like Brock Nelson for 1 and then Nichushkin for 2. Something like that. Something in that sense. But there's a lot of options that I can still think about. Is there anything else that I would want to bring up? I mean, in that last game, like I said, this was the latest iteration of these two teams playing each other. It was 2 weeks ago. It was Stolarz at goal. It was Mackenzie Blackwood at goal. It was 7-4. And in that game, you had basically, with the people that I'm talking about, Marner had 2 points. Matthews had 3 points. Nylander had 2 points. Tavares had 2 points. On the Colorado side in that last game, McKinnon had 2. Lehkonen had 1. Nichushkin had 1. Brock Nelson had 1. Nichushkin 4. So a lot of opportunity here. I don't think any goalie has goalies been confirmed yet. Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, oh no, it's not a rematch because it was Stolarz. Stolarz was the goalie. So Mackenzie Blackwood is again going to see Toronto, but we're going to have Joseph Woll at goal. And Joseph Woll had a solid year so far as of yet. So,
Did I tell you about pizza?
Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Sorry about that. I am in my office, so yeah, it happens. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. So Joseph Woll is at goal. When I'm looking at these stats for the season, if I'm not mistaken, it's Joseph Woll that you probably want at goal. He has been the better goalie this year. Slightly higher goals against average is not at 3, but it's a quarter away from there. 90%, but he has more wins, so they'll look to have him slow down that powerful Colorado offense. And also, you got to keep in mind, Colorado has an offense that can stall out on the road. But with these two high-tempo offenses and not so good defenses, like I said, it depends on how well these goalies do. But I think even if this game stinks out and let's say it doesn't score 7 again, like the last game had 11 total goals. I told you, ever since 2021, all these games have gone over 7 except for once. So let's say we get something like the 2021 game or something that goes 4, maybe 5 goals. Yeah, in the Colorado game, McKinnon and them can still get there. But if it's a game where like the lower line starts scoring and then, maybe you have a 2-point prop, and maybe you have a 2-point prop of something and it's not going to get there, I really think there's still going to be a lot of shot generation, which is why I love the shot on goal props. So that's what I have for you there. Gave you a little preview of the tremendous value in the Minnesota-Seattle game. But as of right now, as what I did this morning, Valeri Nichushkin over 2.5 is plus money. William Nylander, Nichushkin, if they all get 4 shots, that's plus 3,868. And all of them, I took Nichushkin by himself because he's plus money. Like I said, Nylander and Nichushkin are minus money, even though it's surprising that Nichushkin's only minus 108. Plus 607 for all those 3 together if they all get 3 shots. And I have a Columbus to make the playoff bet that seems to be dying out. But that's today's episode. Hope you all enjoy the information. As you heard in the background, I'm going to eat my pizza because we got treated to lunch today. And good luck tonight. It's only one game. A bunch of games tomorrow. More than likely, you won't hear from me Friday because I'll be playing fantasy for the single game. Only one game on Friday, and I'll be getting ready for NASCAR this weekend. So, but be on the lookout for a grade A banking video. Haven't done one in a couple of weeks. Been slipping up on that since I just started the series. But I've been doing research and I'm ready for that. And also good luck on your tournament brackets because once I'm done with this and eating lunch, I'll be working on my tournament brackets. Good luck, everybody. This is Grade A Fantasy, signing off.